Gold is no longer a good store of value. It will not hedge inflation. It will not protect you in times of uncertainty, and it most definitely will not insure you in the collapse of a US dollar. Welcome back to Crypto in 10. I'm Zach Swibel, offering a youthful insight into the financial markets, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into gold as a store of value. Let's start off by stating that gold is one of the oldest currencies used by man to purchase goods and services. The reason for this is because it has natural scarcity, and gold, obviously, it doesn't have infinite supply like the US dollar. It cannot be infinitely printed, and it takes manual labor in order to mine this gold. And obviously, during ancient times, they did not have machinery that was able to mine the gold, so they relied on humans to do it. And this made the production of gold very, very slow, which allowed governments to be able to issue it as a form of currency. And up until 1971, the United States government had the US dollar pegged to the price of gold. And at 1971, Richard Nixon, the president at the time, removed the gold standard. And the reason why he had to do this was because the US government no longer had enough gold to be able to promise US citizens gold in return for their dollars. At the time, dollars, physical dollars, was essentially just a rebate, a promise that you can go into any bank and now exchange this for gold. In 1971, this promise was removed. And immediately, you'll see this right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, you see that the price of gold since 1971 skyrocketed. 1972, we saw a 49% rise in the price of gold. 1973, 74% increase. And 1974, we had a 67% increase. And this was all because of a drive in supply and demand. And then 1975, we had a 25% drop just to kind of cool things off because people had their gold. And people had already made up their decision on whether or not they were going to invest in gold or keep the US dollar as their currency or just hold it like the government wanted us to. So if you look back, the premise behind this was people were scared. People didn't know what this dollar was now capable of, and people didn't trust the US dollar. People didn't trust just the backing of the government. People didn't trust the power of the government to be able to just ensure this new currency that was once backed by gold. And you're essentially now just saying that, okay, now our currency is just the same weight, if not stronger than gold ever was before, and it's not even pegged to gold. People didn't really buy that, and then that drove up the price of gold due to supply and demand. So this was ultimately carried on throughout the rest of the 1900s up until about the year 2010. In 2010, we got the world's first decentralized currency that's not naturally found on Earth. That is the world's first digital currency, and it's called Bitcoin. You have gold, which is essentially a decentralized currency because no central entity controls it. And any other natural resource is also considered to be decentralized because no government controls it as well. So the issue with these naturally found decentralized currencies or resources, I should say, are that you have to store them, you have to buy them, you have to sell them. Those are the three main issues. Gold. Buying gets really hard. You have purity rates. 24 carats is considered pure gold, which is when you look at the price of gold per ounce at the recording of this video or podcast, however you're watching it, it is $2,000 per ounce, but that's for pure gold. That's for 24 karat gold. Then you get into 18 carats, 16 carats, 14 carats, 12 carats. And next thing you know, you might accidentally be paying $2,000 per ounce for something that's only 50% gold on accident. You might not even realize it. That's one of the main issues with gold. When you buy it, you have to test the purity rate, and also you have to make sure that it's not some special edition. I don't really even understand it. Some forms of gold are limited edition. Gold collectors really like this, and that also believe that it's worth its weight in gold plus some. And that's because of some more scarcity, and I don't quite understand it, but the premise behind it is it can further fluctuate the price of gold and make it way more complicated than it needs to be. So now you have to look at storing the gold or storing any other natural resource. It gets hard. And because natural resources are any other currency, the more you have of it, the more it's worth. Because natural resources, the more you have of it, the heavier it gets. It can get really annoying and expensive to be able to store these natural resources. Now, when you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin solves all of these problems. Oh, I forgot about selling. Selling is annoying too because you have all the issues with buying it, and then people don't want to take on the responsibility of storing it. So now you have Bitcoin. Bitcoin solves almost all of these problems. Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about storing it. You do it on a hard wallet, private wallet. That's the safest place to do it. Don't keep it on exchanges. Keep it on a private wallet. Once you have it on a private wallet, it's very easy to buy and sell. As a volume of the filming of this video, 15 billion is the volume. Very easy to buy and sell. It's almost like Apple stock. You place in a buy order, you buy it instantly. You place it in a sell order, you sell it instantly. Is very easy. That Bitcoin solves those problems. And then transacting it, you can't really. Transacting goes into buying and selling. I can't buy a hamburger with gold. I can't buy a cheeseburger with gold. I'm starving. I'm on an island, deserted island. I can't do anything. I'm in New York City. I have 3 tons of gold, and nobody's willing to buy that gold. I can't go get a cheeseburger. I can't eat that gold. I can't build a house. I can't do anything with the gold. I can't conduct electricity with it. This gold does absolutely nothing. Literally nothing, except for hold value. But we've already learned from the dollar that because it's backed by just a government, even scarcity doesn't really, it's not really even able to ensure its value. And that's another one of the issues with Bitcoin. We'll get into other cryptocurrencies as well. But you have a look at Bitcoin and gold. Their scarcity gives it their value. And see, there's only one of these, I don't know. Say there's only one of these pieces of gum. There's only one of this gum in the world. There's only one of this. Only gum you have. It doesn't matter. If everybody hates, the whole world hates cinnamon gum, doesn't matter. No one's buying it from you. It doesn't matter if it's a one of one. I can make the worst drawing ever. It could be one of one. I can have all the scarcity in the world. I could price it for $1 trillion. I'm just going to buy that. I suck at art. That further proves the point. Scarcity does not give things value. People need to trust it and give it value. Now, if people don't give the dollar value, it's worth nothing. And that also, the dollar doesn't have scarcity. The government can just print more of the dollar. And that's more the reason why people want to buy these stores of value, because it does have, and that is scarcity. Bitcoin has a maximum circulating supply. Gold has a maximum circulating supply. We're not quite sure what it is, but there's not infinite gold. We know that for a fact. Bitcoin sitting at around $27,000. It's very easy to transact. I can go now, very recently now, I'm able to go into places and start buying things with Bitcoin. This is very new, and this is very exciting. Ethereum. Let's look at Ethereum. Good old Ethereum. World's first blockchain that people can actually contribute to. Smart contracts. I can contribute to it, build decentralized applications, and I can do a lot of things with this blockchain. It's remarkable what you can do with Ethereum. And that is what gives it value. Not its scarcity, not its circulating supply. Ethereum doesn't even have a maximum supply. Just mint more and more Ethereum. You don't even need this circulating supply, maximum supply. It doesn't matter. But you know what? You know what does matter? Its volume and its utility. And Ethereum has a lot of it. The only issue with Ethereum is it gets expensive to buy and sell and transact. Now you look at all these other blockchains. They're great stores of value. They do the same thing. They have supply caps. And when you're looking for a store of value inside of a crypto project, I'm not going to list anymore. You want to find a couple of things. First, you want to find things that have a high volume, or you believe have a high volume. Next, you want to look at the project, read about the project, study the project, and it makes sure that you think that it's going to have real-world application, a real-world purpose. You think that the problems that that project is solving is going to do something, and you think that that problem that it's solving, people actually have that problem. If the problem doesn't exist, it's not worth anything. Another thing, accessibility. If it's listed on 0 exchanges, how are you going to be able to buy and sell it? It's very hard. It's very complicated. Partnerships. Does it have partnerships with world banks? Partnerships with companies that already exist and that are already very successful? You have to look at that too. And the last thing that I would like to look at is potential. If your coin does not have any potential, why are you investing it in the first place? Oh, and by the way, make sure that it has a maximum circulating supply and that circulating supply is capped. Those are the couple of things that I would like to look for when I'm investing in these stores of value. By the way, this is not financial advice at all. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take this for my word. Just look at the crypto market over the past 15 years and you could take the numbers word for it. Now, why cryptocurrency, you may ask me? Why am I investing in cryptocurrencies? How are these problems relative to the real world? What are they really going to do? Now, I answered that as, for example, XRP is building CBDCs or helping to build CBDCs in partnership with the company Ripple. As you may know, world banks from all across the world are currently investigating and working on and already launching CBDCs. And this is something that I believe is going to be very vital. And something on CBDCs, I don't like the U.S. government looking at a CBDC. I don't think that the United States needs one, but a CBDC is good for countries who need another way out. For example, Argentina has their dollar inflated so hyperly. Argentina's a bit weird because they have two exchange rates, 200 to 1 exchange rate that you'll find on Google, but if you actually go there, you can't even get that exchange rate. It's more like 400 to 1. You have Venezuela, whose exchange rate is through the roof. I don't even know what it is. It's astronomical. Millions and millions of Venezuelan dollars for American dollars. It's absolutely insane what that exchange rate is. Iran has a 48,000 real to 1 exchange rate. These currencies are going to be hyperinflated forever. And you cannot replace them. The only other way to replace it is by building a new one. And now what you're able to do with these CBDCs is you're able to issue a centralized bank digital currency, have all of your citizens flip over to it, and they're obviously all going to flip over to it because if you do one thing, this one thing, you know what you have to do? You have to make a new conversion rate. Say, okay, for example, I am country A. Country A has an exchange rate of currently every dollar is equal to 500 of country's A dollars. Call it $8. Every dollar is equal to 500 $8. Country A can now release a CBDC and say, hey, convert your A dollars into the CBDC and we'll now give you a new exchange rate for, we'll call it B dollars. Country A is now releasing a new currency called B dollars, which is a digital currency, and its exchange rate can be 2 to 1 to the dollar. So now you replace your A dollars for B dollars, and that could be done through a CBDC, and you could phase out this A dollars. Also, what you can do is you can just tax cash through the roof to the point where nobody can even afford to use it anymore. That's a forceful conversion to a CBDC. That's not what you want to see. I believe that CBDCs are the future for some of these countries, but they do get a bit dangerous, especially when you try and use them and implement them in countries that do not need. Web3 is the future of the internet. It allows people to use the internet in a decentralized way just to really simplify things in terms of Web3. There's different versions of the internet. You have the first version, second version, and cryptocurrency is basically investing in the third version. There's many countless projects in the market that are working towards Web3 and that are implementing Web3 already, and they contribute to Web3. So there's many of these currencies that I believe are going to end up having real world utility. And I don't see any other asset right now that you can buy that's better than cryptocurrency because I do not see any other alternative. I see currencies, centralized currencies that are backed by governments, and these governments are just the currencies backed by the integrity of the government. The government doesn't have anything checking them and making sure they don't print too much. If they're in trouble, they're in debt, they just print more of their currency that causes inflation. And when your currency is inflated, the US dollar is going through inflation right now. I look at cryptocurrencies because you know what can't be inflated? Something with a maximum supply. You cannot inflate something with a maximum supply. And you know what? This is a bear market right now, and this might be one of the best buying opportunities you possibly have. And you know what? People push gold all the time, and they push gold through one of their companies. Purchase gold, but do it through my company and make it through here, and I'll give you 10% off if you use this promo code and buy it through my company. Or you can just buy cryptocurrency through a regular company. I'll actually link some places where you can buy cryptocurrency, Coinbase, Binance, many places. All this some decentralized exchanges too. I'll post some links in the description. If you're watching on YouTube and if you're watching on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page. It's at CryptoN10. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe or follow on Apple Podcasts. It's at Crypto10. And if you're watching on listening on Apple Podcasts or watching on YouTube, don't forget to follow my TikTok page at Crypto10, and my Twitter as well is Mr_double Z. Don't forget to do those. Follow those accounts of mine. Stay tuned for more. I'll be posting way more videos here and posting way more podcasts on there as well. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching.